No, y'all gotta stay. Y'all gotta stay. Come on, sir. No, y'all gotta stay.
No.
Sir, come on.
No.
Sir,
no.
let's go.
Todos.
Sir,
Todos nos
sir,
vamos.
we're not doing this.
Todos nos
We're
vamos.
not doing this.
Todos nos vamos. Todos vamos. No somos delincuentes, no somos nada. Todos nos vamos. No hay ningún problema.
Really discretionary moment.
This seems like a moment
let them go, right?
No entiendo por qué lo están haciendo, pero todos somos familia y nos vamos todos.
There's three
No hay problema. Se llama Dani. No hay ningún problema.
That's all we need to know is your name. That's it. Okay? All that we need to know your name. That's it. Okay?
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Stay out of the way, sir. Stay out of the way.
Thank you.
Had to turn the music down, you know, for YouTube purposes.
Thank you. Thank you. Go down.
No eres delincuente.
Tengo que ponerte así. No te tienes que poner así.
Pasa. Nos vamos todos. No hay problema.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And I came across this video yesterday, and I wanted to play that before going into a couple of these precepts, because you know, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So how much more for a video? But in any case, you know, when we go into the scriptures, and particularly I have one here, which Yahushai mentioned, and dealing with Yahushai, right, there were times when you read in the scriptures that he wept, right, as he looked over the city and he wept. And I believe he mentioned, if only they knew, let me see if I can find it so I don't butcher it. See thy peace. It's the New Testament, so let's go. Hold up. Yeah. Unless I missed it. Belongeth to thy peace. Belongeth. Let's see. Nope. Belongeth to thy peace. KJV. Belong to thy. Yep, Luke 19:42. That's the one. Luke 19:42. So let's start with that. Now this is Yahushua, Yahushua speaking, but this is Luke chapter 19, verse 41, and it reads, "And when he was come near, he beheld the city, and wept over it, saying, If thou hadst known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now are they hid from thine eyes. For the days shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side." So Yahushai saw, right, the desolation that would come upon his people, right, upon Israel, and looking at how they were just going about their day, you know, almost ignorant to the fact. That's why he made the statement that he made. Okay, and even going into verse 44, and they shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave thee in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. See? And it's the same thing now, right? This is just a visual. Just pause that. This is just a visual, one of many scenarios. And in this case, you know, they I believe what happened was they got his ID. They were like, okay, this is not the guy, so they let him go. But they were pretty much gonna take him away, right, from his family. And you can see that they all got pretty stressed out over there. And the reason I played this is that, you know, you have people that are getting sentimental in the comments, but this is just the beginning, right? How should I mention the beginning of sorrows? You know, they were talking with them at the very least here, but in the times we're coming into, you know, this is absolutely like the feeling that they had in this time is not going to compare to what majority of people are about to start going through. And sometimes when you explain it in words, it's still not enough to sound in the minds, right? The minds of Jake. They have to see. All right, but anyway, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and like I mentioned, just going straight to the point. As Yahushua mentioned signs of the end, he then mentions that all these, right, those signs are to signal that we are now, or they will signal the beginning of sorrows. And that's basically what we're seeing, the beginning of sorrows. So as it goes further past the beginning into the midst of sorrows, i.e. Jacob's trouble, you're going to see just how bad it's going to be out here. Okay, to where, you know, once again, today, you see scenes like that. People get sentimental, people, you know, cry and all that. But in that time, weeping and crying and screaming and being afraid and sorrowful and sad and heartbroken, all of those things are going to become commonplace. So it's not going to be special. You're not going to stand out for feeling that way or being in that situation. And it's going to get so bad that you won't even have time to do those things, right? People won't even have time to properly mourn. Something happens and you're trying to get away with you know, the individual's trying to get away with their family, and then, you know, either like one of their loved ones gets shot or just like crushed or hit by a car or something, and they're just like instant death. And now what do? They're gone, right? Do you stop and try to run back, and what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to bring them back to life. And you still have whether it's your kids or whoever else is with you that you still got to protect, and so you still got to keep running because it's still dangerous at that scene. So you don't even have time to you know, you've seen the impact, you know that there's no way they survived that, but you don't even have time to go and look at it, mourn it. You can't even have time to process it. You just got to keep going. It's gonna drive a lot of people, you know, they're gonna lose their sanity. Okay, a lot of people are gonna lose their sanity because they can't take the harsh reality that is about to ensue. Right, it's about to take hold of the earth. But in all that, keep in mind that who is behind all of it? The Most High. The Most High is the one directing all of this, putting the ideas and thoughts into the minds of different rulers and different, you know, people in different positions of power to go in this direction, because it is His will. Now, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. You see that? And you see that today. As we are out here prophesying, trying to give them the knowledge of the Lord, they reject it openly. Not only do they ignore it and walk past it, right, because they don't even know what belongs to their peace. They're not aware of the times they're in. But they have enough time and energy to come against it, speak against it, and against the Lord. So they openly reject the knowledge of the Lord, which is able to make them wise unto salvation. And the Lord says, well, because of that, I will also reject you. And this is something they've been doing of old. And He knows the same people, because they kept those same characteristics, that same pride, arrogancy, ignorance, wickedness, that wicked heart, they kept it. And they're here again doing the same thing. So as the Lord said, what? I will reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. As they were increased, they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. So what you're going to witness is, if you thought that Jake was at a low now, you're going to see, you know, when the streets are full of blood, as they say, what it really looks like when the Lord unleashes that judgment. And there's going to be no way out of it, because the Most High is behind it. And as it says, right, as they increase, they sinned against me. So this is going to be the reward of the transgression. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them for their ways and reward them their doings. Okay, so regardless of whether you are considered a leader of the people, an influencer, an average person, a follower of, you know, or whatever the case is, you're going to suffer. You're not going to be exempt. Status is not going to matter. The only status that's going to matter is if you're of the elect. So scenes like the one I just played there is going to be nothing compared to, see, when you have actual troops, right, FEMA troops kicking down your door, not waiting for you outside of an immigration court, right, and taking you away, but coming to where you're dwelling, right? Not in the sense of right now they're doing things similar, but they're not gonna open their mouth. They're not there to talk to you. They're not gonna tell you, hey, come out, or else we're gonna come and get you. They're gonna kick the door down, and they're gonna be using their actions to speak. And they're not gonna have the sentiment of, let me allow you to go together as a family pack. No. They're coming in, okay, there's a male here, okay, there's a male in here, is this, oh, no, that's a child, okay, so take the male over here, take the women over here, take the children over there. And the children are crying for their mom, they're crying for their dad, the father's trying to fight, but he can't. He might get shot, he might get gun butted, he might get knocked out. Then they drag them off separate ways. And your tears will mean absolutely nothing to them. As the scriptures describe them in 2 Ezra 16, as like the burning wrath of a great multitude. Right? They shall be like madmen, what? Sparing none. That's the whole point, sparing none. And it's not going to be by your tears or whatever you think you can offer that's going to cause them to stop, because a lot of them are going to have the spirit influenced by the Lord in order to be so vicious and ferocious and merciless, right? Their eyes are not going to pity. And this is going to be by way, or this is going to be how the Lord is going to punish the world for their arrogancy, for their iniquity, for their wickedness. You had liberty, and you chose to use that liberty to anger the Lord even more. You chose to use that liberty to seal your fate in the wrong sense. And so now that it's been sealed, that seal is not going to be broken. Right, this is 2 Ezra chapter 16. I'm going to start at 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And why did Ezra say that? Because he said that because of the things he saw. Okay? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, not just one kind or just one, but numerous evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So you can imagine, you looking to the left, you're seeing people dying of one kind of plague. You're looking to the right, another kind of thing. You're looking behind you, another kind of thing. It's just like different scenes of different people suffering by many means. Wild animals, right? Gangs, troops, diseases, famine, hunger, people turning on each other. It's just going to be like just a pot full of just madness at every door. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Non-stop. From one to another, one to another, one to another. And so that's why Ezra said, like, yo, like, what the hell? You know, who's going to deliver me? Because this shit is crazy. But people don't know what's coming. They see what's happening, but they still can't piece two to two together to see what that means for what's going to come next. And so they stay in their ways. Like, Here it is, you're doing something wrong. You get slapped in the back of your head for doing something wrong. Instead of you to stop, you continue doing it. You grab the back of your head, you look around a bit, and then you go back to doing it. And that's why the scriptures say, right? The Most High speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not. So this time, when the Lord brings the famine of the word, he's done talking. And once the talking stops, that's when the judgments come. And that's why it's mentioned as the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. So it's going to be a real tough time ahead. But Lord willing, we be of that elect. May the Lord have mercy upon us and our loved ones in these times, because that's going to be the only way, and we're definitely going to need that. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. Until next time, Shalom.